So to make a position saver, we in server script service have to insert a script, and we are going to call the script the position handler. In the script, we first of all have to say game.players.player added content function, and in the brackets we get the player. And due to us wanting to save data, we are actually at the start of the script going to say local ds equals the game :get service data store service :get data store position data store. And if the player for the first time joins, we want to say plr.character added, but not :net function. We want to say :wait, so that it just waits until the character is added, and that only when the player joins for the first time. So that only when he plays for the first time, we can load the position, which we do by first of all having a variable local position, which we're going to keep blank for the second, and then we're going to say local t equals to, and that will just be position and underscore, and then after the quotation marks we concatenate this with plr.user_id, because that will be a unique key for each player. I actually have created a tutorial on data stores, so you can watch that if you want to know more on how you can use data stores. Now we're going to say pcall function open bracket, we drop a line and it'll insert the end close bracket, and we just say position equals to ds : get async key, and then after the closing bracket after the end we are going to drop 2 lines and say if position is not equal to nil, then local char pause equals to plr.character.humanoid root heart, and then we can finally say char pause dot position equals to vector3.new, as positions are handled in vector3s, and we are saving the position as a table with 3 inputs, x, y, and z axis, which is also the inputs we need to put into our vector tree. So for the x-axis we just say position, and then in square brackets we say 1. So the first thing in the table, we separate this with a comma, space, we say position, square brackets 2, because that's where we're going to save the y-axis, and then for the z-axis, after separating it with a comma and a space, we just say position 3 in square brackets. So this should actually be able to load the position. Now we're going to, after the player added event, closing off, we're just going to say while wait I do for I, plr in pairs game.players get players do, and now we can just simply from over here copy over the char pause variable. We can drop a line and say local position equals to, then we say squiggly brackets, and in those we just say char pause dot position dot x, separate it with a comma, char pause dot position dot y, separated with a comma, char pause dot position dot z. So as we can see here, we loaded with the first, second, and third position, and here we just assigned the first, second, and third position with the individual axes so that it can load and save it correctly. And now we just need to say, we can just say pcall function, we can copy over the key and say ds set async key, position. So we save it with a key, we save the position with the key, and then we can load the position with the key. Now after the pcall, we can just, to make sure this works, print plr.name with 2 dots, we concatenate it to a string which we use quotation marks for. And here we'll say apostrophe s space position has been saved dot space after the quotation marks dot plr dot name dot quotation marks, in the quotation marks apostrophe s position was space after the quotation marks dot position brackets 1, then dot, then in quotation marks a comma, space, then after those quotation marks again dot position in square brackets 2, and then we concatenate that again to a string with a comma and a space, and finally we concatenate that to position square brackets 3. So this should just say player names position has been saved, player names position was, and then it should print their position separated with commas. To make sure that this actually works, we actually have to save this game, so we have to publish it. And now go to game settings, security, enable Studio to save services, because if we don't do that, it won't save. So now if we play, currently we still spawn in the middle of the air, and oh yeah, there, the ddoelker's position has been saved. The ddoelker's position was -29 and some random stuff, 3 and -11, and as we can see, the output keeps printing out my current position. If I stay in one position for a while, then yeah, it doesn't change that position. If I stop now and play again, last was on the x-axis -50, and as we can see, I do not spawn in the center again, which can be confirmed as the print says the same thing as when we played for originally. To show this further, if I were to go into a corner of the map, wait for it to save, stop the game, play it again, I will spawn again here at the corner. And actually, if I reset my character, oh, it should, yeah, it spawns me in the center of the map again, so it doesn't return me to where I was all the time. Perfect.